and we're back with Angel or Devil. I had to cut the voting off now because it was getting insane. I think there's like 200 comments or something. But there was one clear winner who rose above the rest of the comments, and that was Ruvel, the Reaper. Close behind him were Reiner and Feyril, but don't worry if your guy wasn't picked this time. After we play through Ruvel's route, we can always go for another, and I'll hold a brand new vote. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started on his main story. First is his story introduction. You have no idea what Ruvel, the Grim Reaper, is thinking all the time. He seems very protective and caring. But what happened when you started to develop special feelings for him? What will happen to your fate? Okay, Ruvel main story chapter 1. If you'll excuse me a moment. A young man with a captivating face stood by my bed, smiling dangerously. He was on the bed, looming over my beridden body. Hey, what are you doing? Who are you anyways? His horns and black wings made the nature of the man clear. Holy, a demon? No, you can't be serious, but he looks the part. He swiftly craned forward, bringing our faces closer. Holy, you sure are a sharp lady. What? His eyes consumed my vision, and just as I became aware of my increasing pulse. The name's Diablo, a demon, just as you had thought. His cheek pulls back in a mocking grin. Is he really a demon? Just as he pulled in closer, no head starts. Some unseen hand pulled the looming body off of me. The hell? Don't get in my way, man. Diablo's black wings were pinned back by the blade of an enormous scythe. It's Ruvel! My eyes traced the length of the scythe to find another man. He hovered in mid-air, staring down at the two of us with a face inscrutable. What now? His mouth opened the moment we locked eyes. I am Ruvel, a Reaper. A Reaper, like an angel or specter of death? He looked fittingly cold and inhuman, but he didn't appear to be very scary for someone who's supposed to take lives. Is he gonna use that big scythe to bring me with him? A disturbing thought, but it didn't last. Wait, but the doctors just said that I didn't have any external injuries, that I'd be out soon enough. Excuse me, am I about to die? Ruvel and Diablo exchanged looks. It seemed my question was on the mark. The next moment, yeah, in 7 days. Ruvel muttered without fanfare. In 7 days? I was lost for words. Diablo grinned again. Look, she's in shock since a Reaper showed up. Neither I nor Ruvel appeared to share his glee. Ruvel and I looked at each other blankly when... It's just as fine a shock when a demon shows up, I should think. Who? I looked over to find a smiling man with pure white wings. What is it this time? Pleased to meet you. I am the angel Lattice. I've come to invite your pure soul to heaven. Soul? Does that mean me? This is a tough conversation to follow, but with my body immobile, I could only watch to see what the three beings would do. And then, my eyes met Ruvel's, and just as I blinked, he swung his enormous scythe at me. Oh shoot! Huh? I hesitatingly opened my eyes and saw Ruvel looking down at me smirking. Huh? Is he just messing with me? But that moment, my previously leaden body became abruptly light. Did he just... Everyone watched as I hoisted myself upright. Ah, you made it so she could move? Uncharacteristically generous of you. Is it? Anyway. As he spoke, Ruvel turned to face Diablo and Lattice. I think I'll call it a day. Diablo frowned. What? So you get a shot in and I don't? You make it sound like we're a team. What'd you just say? Lattice stood watch over their touchy situation and laughed quietly. It's awfully crowded in here. I think I'll excuse myself now. What the hell? Are you giving up on the job? Lattice was visibly insulted. His eyes narrowed into slits. Don't be absurd. I'm different from you. Diablo frowned again in a sort of pout. It appeared he was being looked down upon by the other two. I've never done a half-assed job, if that's what you're trying to say. Ruvel cut in between the angel and demon. Let's go. Don't argue here. The hell, man? You're always... I'm going to. What? If I don't, I won't be able to get either of you to step down. Now then, think about how you're going to spend your next 7 days. He had turned back to face me. Well, sure, but I don't know what I'm supposed to make of all this. Okay? I forced myself to answer. As if that was their cue, the three of them left the room. What was all of that? I'm not dreaming, am I? Left alone in the quiet hospital room, I mulled over recent events. An angel, a demon, and a Reaper, and I've got 7 days left. How did they figure that? Another thing, that angel and demon looked kind of familiar. Lovely. High above and a distance away from the hospital, Lattice banked through the wind and sighed. Diablo took the chance to scoff at him. Sounds like something a loser, i.e. you, would say. Yes, I must say, I have to envy your rock-headedness. That sounds like an insult. Ruvel faced them with the same cold expression as from before. Idiotic. Their brows dropped in unison. You looking for a fight too? Oh, you'd never win against him.
How can we know if I don't try?
Faced with a bristling Diavel, Lattice merely took a breath. So, Ruvel, what are you planning to do now?
Now, 3-way battle royale, duh. The guy who gets your soul wins.
Lattice faked a smile in response to Diavel's haughty proclamation.
Let me remind you that this is not a game. Of course, I share your desire to obtain her soul. I would imagine it's the same for you, isn't that right, Ruvel?
Ruvel shrugged.
I guess.
Their brief exchange had Diavel grinning.
Then what do you say we split up?
The moment he finished speaking, he disappeared. Hey! Ruvel brandished his enormous scythe.
I'll get him.
Lattice paused in thought and then, very well.
I'll take this opportunity to cleanse myself of impurities I've picked up in this world then.
Lattice shot away like an arrow. As Ruvel watched him leave, his lips curved into a twisted smile.
And don't come back. That soul is mine.
The sky outside my window faded into darkness. Weary of everything that had happened today, I decided to go to sleep early. But as I rested,
Kayla?
I opened one heavy eye, searching for the voice that called my name. But then, I noticed Diavel's alarming close face, and I abruptly squirmed away. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
What do you think? I'm here to get you.
Huh? Now that he mentioned it, I noticed he was touching me. Stop that! Get your hand off of me! I tried to shake his hand off. His grip became tighter and tighter.
Looks like somebody's gotten a whole lot better. All the better for seducing.
All the better for seducing?
We've all come to eat up that soul of yours, you see.
Eat up? You aren't actually gonna eat it, are you? Diavel raised his eyebrows and laughed amused.
No, see?
He put a hand to my breast. Ah!
I'll take that beautiful soul and defile it.
Defile? Staring at me intently, Diavel drew closer and closer.
Ah.
His lips came closer and Oh, we're gonna turn our head away. We don't want to kiss him. I tried to turn my head away, but as if paralyzed, my body stopped responding. But Ruvel just gave me back my ability to move. Now I can't even speak. I desperately tried to move, but it wasn't happening. Snickering, Diavel appeared to be enjoying my plight.
You think you could run away from me?
Beneath his wavering eyelashes were inescapable, hungering eyes. No. Eventually my body grew tired, and our lips seemed like they could touch at any moment. No! I grew desperate again and did my best to turn my head. Something soft touched my neck. If he keeps this up... From the recesses of my panicked mind came the forms of Ruvel and Lattice. Help me! But there was nothing I could do, and in my panic I closed my eyes. Just then...
Shall I slice off that head? It'd be a load off your shoulders.
A low voice resounded around the room, and Diavel flew off of me.
Whoa!
A cold face watched Diavel slide down the wall into the floor.
Enough of this.
With face unchanging, Ruvel lifted his scythe and approached Diavel. He's gonna save us!
Ruvel, wait, seriously, isn't this a bit much? No, it's a bit lacking.
He gave us a fleeting glimpse under the hood, a curious light glinting from his eyes, sending a shiver down my spine.
Okay, I got it, but she's nobody's, right? If we don't do anything, Lattice will take her, don't you think?
To an unshaken Diavel, Ruvel spoke in a declaring tone.
That's a different story.
And then...
Yeah, no, you're not having her.
His black wings spread wide and he reached for me. At the same time, Ruvel's scythe swung down. The hospital room was filled with a whirling strong wind and my consciousness began to fade. I slowly opened my eyes and it looked like I was flying. Wait, what? I looked around in my confusion and realized that Ruvel was holding me up as he flew through the air. It's just him. Slightly relieved, I looked up to check on Ruvel. Up close, his face was surprisingly beautiful, and despite his expression, I felt remarkable warmth coming from where we touched. I fearfully called out to him, and he looked down at me.
You're awake.
Yeah, what happened?
Not much. I swept you up.
His surprisingly kind voice startled me. Swept me?
Had I not?
He began to speak, but...
No, forget it.
His face returned to its normal cold state, leaving me with conflicting feelings. But Diavel's a demon, and so there's no question he saved me. I slowly managed to open my mouth again.
From now on, they'll be after your soul.
My soul?
Do you think you can hold out for 7 days?
His question sent my thoughts back to earlier events. 7 days, so they'll be after my soul for the next 7 days. Do I really only have 7 days left?
Yes, it's not a lie.
He continued to look at me, but I couldn't think of anything to say.
If you can't hold out.
After a short pause, he continued.
I can make your passing easy.
My passing? Then you're also...
Yes, my goal is also to obtain your soul. So if you ever feel like you'd prefer to pass on...
Would you hold out on that, please? There's something I want to do first.
What's that?
He gazed down and questioned me back. several minutes later. At my request, Ruvel had brought me to an art museum. Since it was after hours, nobody was around and the lights were off.
And this is what you...
Ruvel looked up at a very large painting. Dark as it was, he could just make it out in the dim light. Yes, my older brother painted this. We both looked up in the painting. Beautifully captured in the painting were an angel and a demon. Well, isn't that telling?
Now he's gone and done it. I almost died back there.
Diavol muttered his complaint as he flew out of the hospital and checked his surroundings.
But damn, where did they get off to?
And then Lattice came along.
What's up with you? You look like you've been through a shredder. It's him. Ruvel got me.
Ruvel? His eyes slightly widened, but then he laughed quietly.
I thought so. What do you mean I thought so?
He grimaced, but then looked at Lattice as if having come to a realization.
Anyway, judging by the way you're speaking, you're done with work for the day, aren't you?
I am, but Ruvel left me with a different impression than usual. It kept nagging at me. Diavol raised an eyebrow.
His impression?
Yes, usually he'd do his work like a machine, but this time...
I see what you mean.
Diavol muttered, then faced Lattice again.
Then he's really after her soul, huh? That's gonna be kind of a pain.
That's just what I thought.
When he gets serious, it's scary. Even for me.
I knew it. They looked just like the two in the painting. I gazed at the painting deep in thought when Ruvel's voice reached my ear.
Your brother was an artist.
Yes, but he passed away of illness. We were both young when our parents died, but he looked after me, a wonderful older brother. As an artist, he had some degree of fame, but years later, as if chasing our parents, he died of an illness. Ruvel looked a bit longer at my brother's painting when...
Did you like your brother?
He looked back at me. Yeah, I guess. Yes, I loved him. I answered him honestly, and his gaze turned back to the painting. He stared a bit longer before turning his back on me. He started walking.
Let's go.
Okay. Did I say something wrong? Is something... He looked over his shoulder and muttered.
Not really.
What's that supposed to mean? I spoke out again, trying to keep up with his brisk pace. If I'm gonna die in 7 days, I'd like to paint something. He came to a halt and turned to face me. Something like brother. My brother painted. He looked down.
Why not? Do it.
I couldn't come up with a response to his curt recommendation. What? The next moment, he continued to talk as if nothing had happened.
Are you gonna go back to the hospital? Or perhaps home?
That moment, I heard approaching footsteps and a small light panned over the museum.
Hello? Is someone here?
Uh-oh, is that a guard? I cringed, but Ruvel held on to me.
Hold on.
I felt my feet float off the floor, and I immediately grabbed onto him. Arriving at home, I let Ruvel in, at least for the moment. I contacted the hospital to let them know I'd be coming back to get my belongings, and took a breath.
Well then, I'm off.
Ruvel turned to leave.
What?
Oh, I was just wondering if I had said anything that might have irritated you.
Why?
That's not much of an answer. Because your attitude just changed. Ruvel looked disturbed for a moment.
Did it?
It did. He looked at me a bit longer.
It's nothing much. I'm always like this. Bye then.
He walked a bit further, but then turned around again.
Do you want to see him?
Huh?
Your brother.
I couldn't believe my ears, and I couldn't think of an answer. Was that for real? After Ruvel had left, I lay in bed pondering the meaning of his proposal. If I die in 7 days, then I'll be able to see him. Is that it? But just that moment...
I see you made it home, eh?
I turned to face the source of this crystal clear voice, and white wings filled my vision.
I've been looking for you. I hear Diavol may have salted you.
His gentle smile brought a sigh to my lips. Yeah, but Ruvel saved me.
I see.
Lattice looked about with brow slightly furrowed.
He's gone, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't scare you, did he?
No, not really. Lattice stared at me for a moment before giving a brief nod.
Right then. Farewell.
Huh? That's it?
Yes, under normal circumstances. These aren't my working hours anyways.
Working hours?
Diavol has been jabbering about you being kidnapped, so I was investigating. That's all. And now I've confirmed that you're safe and sound. My role is over, I should think.
I don't quite understand, but compared to the other two, this person seems quite kind. Can I ask you something?
Yes, what is it?
I'm to understand that I have 7 days left.
Yes.
Then does that mean, after that, I'll get to see my parents and my brother? My previous talk with Ruvel formed the foundation of my question, and in response, Lattice's eyebrows jumped.
Indeed, you will.
I thought so. I breathed a sigh of relief.
As long as you become an angel, you see.
He smiled meaningfully. You've got mail. Let's go to our mailbox. It's from Lattice, a warning.
Congratulations on being selected to become an angel. During the next 7 days, you will be under the direct observation of heaven. Please be aware that during this period, any misconduct will regrettably mean automatic rejection. Do not lie, illicit relations with the opposite, the rest is torn up and unreadable.
Okay guys, well that's it for chapter 1 of Ruvel's story. Things are getting interesting, so I hope you guys are excited for chapter 2 and the whole rest of this route. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!
いつか話してくれた